Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining me again. Good morning, everybody. I'm out at Bonehill Rocks on Dartmoor this morning with a new friend of mine, Simon Jerome. We've been trying to meet up for a few weeks now, but work has got in the way. So what are we here doing? Well, we've come here for sunrise, which is just behind me. Hopefully you can hear me because it's very windy. Let me turn around. So we've got the moonset over there and a lovely sunrise over Haytor. But it is bitterly cold up here this morning. Let me show you what we're doing. Well, this is future me just cutting into the video for a second just to explain a bit about what we're up to. So I've been subscribed to Simon's channel for a little while now, and we've been commenting backwards and forwards on each other's vlogs. And a few months ago Simon suggested maybe we should meet up when he's down in the southwest and go out and take some photographs. So that's what we're doing. So future me is just waiting for the sunrise here over Churston Church. Looks like it's going to be a nice day. Anyway, back to the vlog. I normally go out on my own, and so I get into a bit of a rhythm on filming and taking photographs. But obviously today was going to be a bit different with Simon along, and really was enjoying the morning. And sometimes you just have to relax and remember it's not all about the photography and the filming. It's just about getting out, meeting like-minded people, and I really enjoyed the morning. So thank you very much, Simon. I will leave a link to his YouTube channel in the description below. Anyway, let's get back to today's vlog, shall we? Well, it's one of those mornings where you don't know where to point the camera first, with the moon in one direction and the sun the other. But we're both trying to make the most of it. I'd actually chosen the location a few weeks ago. I was hoping to go to Bonehill Rocks and photograph the sunrise. And the last time I was here it was very similar to this. No cloud, but you can silhouette the Tors against that lovely sky. And I was lucky to get the sun coming up just in that little valley with Haytor on the right. And just before the sun came up, I was walking around the rocks of Benro Tortoise, just looking for images really. So I thought this might work, using the foreground Tor just to frame Haytor in the background. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. So I just turned round and trying to get some shots of the moon as it sets behind the communications tower near Princetown. Although as it goes down you can see it fading into the sort of haze. It's almost behind the tower now. I need to stop talking and take some photos. Yeah, I don't know if you can see this on the back of the camera, but the moon is just on the edge of the tower. I'm not sure how these shots are going to come out. Still bitterly cold up here. So while the moon was still high in the sky you could make it out, but it didn't make much of a composition, so I was waiting for it to set behind the communications tower. But I should have known this was going to be inevitable as it went through the atmosphere. It got fainter and fainter. You can see what I was trying to do, trying to get it dead center, would have made quite an impressive image, especially if it was a bright full moon. But not every shot works. So we've just come down out of the wind by the side of Bell Tor here, looking down to Widdicombe in the Moor. The sun's just shining down into the valley now, lighting up the church. Also some nice side light on Bonehill rocks over there. Also some silhouettes on some of the other tors and trees. Cold, but a really nice morning. And by this time the light was really nice. But I hadn't taken the time to scout the location. I hadn't really worked out any decent compositions. But as you can see, the light was shining on the side of the Tor. So I started by thinking about the pathways across from Bell Tor where we were standing, and seeing if I could use any of them as a leading line up to Bonehill Rocks. I ended up with this square composition, trying to put the Tor on the top third, and I do like the colours in this. And zooming my 16 to 55mm lens back out to the 16mm, trying to very quickly pick up some foreground interest in the rocks of Bell Tor. But again, as I've said, I didn't really think about the composition. I do like the lights, I do like the colours, so not too bad for me. As the sun rose, it shone down into the valley onto the church in Widdicombe. And I think Simon may have got a better photograph than me. He was taking shots just as the church tower was lit up with all the dark trees around it. But I did manage to get a couple of shots I quite like. So zooming in, I had my 70 to 350mm lens on by this stage, trying to get close into the church. Very warm light. I'm not sure if I like this warm light. May cool the image down a bit. And as a wider shot, I quite like this composition. Again, not putting the church in the centre. I really don't like those sort of photos. I like putting things off to one side. This isn't obviously quite the rule of thirds, but church slightly off to the right, and the hedges and field structures beyond make some nice diagonals. Well, the sun's well and truly up now, and thankfully it's starting to warm up a bit, although it's still quite difficult to talk. Simon, I think, is still up there somewhere, trying a bit of macro photography. So come down from Bell Tor a bit. I think what I'm going to try and do is find a lone tree, see if there's any that take my fancy, and try and frame one up. Let's have a go. Well, as I walked around the tors looking for lone trees, it was actually the rocks that really caught my eye. Some lovely shapes. Really like the clouds zooming across from the windy side of the Tor here. But as you can see, the shapes and the contrast work really well. Silhouetted against the sky, maybe a good shot. Walking around Bell Tor, I found this collection of rocks almost cascading down the side of the Tor. I liked this image because of the diagonal, and I thought it looked better just with the background there, not with the Tor sticking up into the sky. Quite like the clouds on the background too. Well, as it's so bright now, I think what I'm going to do is just take some photographs of the rocks themselves behind me here. I think with the side light there's going to be some nice contrast, and maybe they'll make some nice black and white images. I have a lovely book at home of the tours of Dartmoor, all full of black and white photographs of the rocks. Can't remember the lady's name at the moment who published the book, but I'll put that up in a moment. It's a really nice book, and gives me some inspiration to get out different places. Well, my apologies to Josephine. I really couldn't remember your name when I was out. Maybe it was just the cold getting into my brain. This is a really nice book, and I can recommend it to anyone who loves Dartmoor. Some lovely photographs in here, not just black and white, but certainly Josephine I think prefers these black and white images. But there's also lots of information about the different tours here in here, and lots of points of interest. Well, I'm just trying to make a nice composition of the rocks. I don't want to put them bang in the middle. I thought this just looked nice with the ridge line going across the shot diagonally. I've put that large group of rocks over to the right slightly. All I need to do now is wait for some good light. Let's think about the ISO. I'm going to put it at ISO 100. I'm on a tripod, obviously. Give it f11, give it some depth of field, and then watch the histogram. I'm going to brighten that up with a shutter speed slightly. Let's try that. Well, if you have or have seen Josephine Collingwood's book, then you can see I've taken some inspiration from her photographs. Obviously I took the shots in colour using the digital camera, but I was thinking in black and white right from the start, and the contrast between the rocks and the sky. So in post-processing, both with this one and the next image, I've taken the blues and taken down the exposure to make the sky darker, and I've picked on the yellows, which was the sun reflecting off the rock, and pushed that up and brought the exposure up. Really makes a nice contrasty shot. And again, I've got that diagonal with the rock slightly to the right, which I prefer. And that piece of film with the clouds zooming over the top of the Tor, that makes a good image as well. With the rocks to the left, the lone tree, which I've finally found, to the right, and some nice contrast between the sunlight on the rocks and that sky. Well, I think that's enough for today. We're both very cold and looking forward to a coffee. Isn't that right, Simon? Yes. Yes. It's my round. So I'm going to call it a day. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. But I'll see you again soon. But for now, cheerio. you.